And it is so unfair because in many instances, you're doing the most. And what happens is if it's, a week late, a month late, 6 months late, like your time is money. And you would rather be doing anything but chasing payments. And you're trying to find the right contact to get you what you need. And you're reaching out to all these people. And in so many of these instances, I've heard that they were said, oh, we'll pay you on this date. That date comes and goes. This show is sponsored by Women in Influencer Marketing, better known as WIIM, the best online community for the creator economy. You will meet fellow influencer marketers, you'll meet brands, you'll meet talent agencies to talk shop, get hired, and even find a mentor. When you become a member, do not forget to check out all of our incredible resources. For example, we have dozens of masterclasses from the top voices at TikTok, at YouTube, award-winning agencies, and women who are paving the way for us all. So if you want the chance to network with a who's who in influencer marketing, check out what it takes to become a member. Make more money and have fun doing it. Visit iamwim.com/join. That's iamwim.com/join today. And I so look forward to seeing you more around the community. You guys, I am on a bit of a tear today. First of all, I guess if you are new to this podcast, welcome. And anyone who regularly tunes in, welcome as well. It's just been like a pretty insane day. So I say that because I posted something on LinkedIn that got quite a big response. And I never have an issue being a pot stirrer if I think it's warranted. And this is one of those instances. And the amount of messages that I've gotten from so many people and the contents of those messages are pretty unbelievable. So let me back it up because you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. So in WIIM, specifically like in our Slack community, I would say like a few times a year, there'll just be like rumblings of something that's up. And it's one of the most powerful things I think about our community because you don't feel crazy. You can sort of say, is anyone else going through this? Or is anyone else experiencing this? And a bunch of people chime in and this sort of like sets off alarm bells. So something like that happened earlier this month, like 2 weeks ago, actually. And I've been sort of sitting on it because I sort of wanted to see if it would resolve itself and if our members could help each other, share resources and sort of figure it out. And the issue was that allegedly the company Captivate, which is a huge major tech platform in our industry, it's been around for a long time, was not paying its creators. And I just have to go on the record, I guess, to say that I am not someone who believes really in cancel culture. Like that's actually not me at all. I think that our industry would, as a whole, benefit if Captivate rights their wrong and if this all is figure outable and if there aren't any bad actors and that people fix the problems and learn from it. And like, that's more of the society that I personally want to live in. So in the post that I shared on LinkedIn, I meant it when I said like, Captivate, I am rooting for you. I'm hoping that your company is in good financial shape. I hope that you can rectify these incredibly late payments for a huge amount of people. I just can't sit around and not say anything. Why? I don't have any skin in this game as an organization. We're advocates for our members and for things that we're seeing in the industry. Like I haven't ever candidly done business with Captivate. I know people who work there and it makes it uncomfortable, truthfully, because I don't want to disparage anybody. Nonetheless, of course, people that I know and I'm connected with. But when I see something that's wrong, like it's wrong. And I just I have to say something about it. And it's friggin' one of the power of social media is when you have a platform and you're able to use it for good. I've preached this for years to creators that I used to manage, right? Like it's just having a big platform is just an opportunity. You can do with it what you will. So I posted today. It wasn't a long post. It just said what's going on, Captivate? A lot of our members are, saying that you haven't paid them. And in like, we're talking about a year, like we're not talking about like a week or two overdue here. We're talking about months to a year plus that I've heard from some people. And we're not talking about one company or one creator. We're talking about hundreds is my estimation. And then like, that's only what I'm privy to. So I can only imagine it's more than that. We're not talking about small amounts of money. And again, like I have to say that this is all alleged, but I've just heard this from so many people that I just personally couldn't stay quiet anymore. So yeah, there's something might be brewing. And immediately, I mean, I would say within 10, 15 minutes of posting that post, people from Captivate reached out to me personally. As of right now, which is the end of this day, and I posted it this morning, nothing substantial was told to me, but my hope is that I can help people get paid. I mean, here's my issue, you guys. Like my biggest issue is that, and I've experienced this, if you are a talent manager or a creator, like, you know that this is what happens, right? You're the lowest person on the totem pole. So like you're the last person who's going to be getting paid, right? And it is so unfair because in many instances, you're doing the most. And what happens is if it's, a week late, a month late, 6 months late, like your time is money. And you would rather be doing anything but chasing payments. And you're trying to find the right contact to get you what you need. And you're reaching out to all these people. And in so many of these instances, I've heard that they were said, oh, we'll pay you on this date. That date comes and goes. They reach out to follow up and crickets. I mean, we're taught like, I've heard people were there that they were originally corresponding with and aren't there anymore. I mean, I've just heard wild stories. And so time is money. And so if they're wasting all of this time chasing you for money that they are already owed, this is something that they have a full right to in the first place. And now they're investing more time in it, which is basically depleting the value of that money anyway. And then a lot of people have got to get lawyers involved because it gets to a point. And if you have the means, you involve lawyers. And so there's been demand letters sent, and some people have gotten progress with demand letters, but that costs something. Of course, lawyers are not cheap. Lawyers are, in fact, pretty expensive. It's just not right. It's not right. And I have to say this out loud too, like, this is not just Captivate. And again, like, this is all alleged. I've got no skin in this game. I'm just sort of like reporting on what I hear from our members, and then, comments to that post on LinkedIn, direct messages that I've gotten based on it. Like, it's been a lot of people who've been saying this, so many that it's hard to believe it's not true. But this isn't just them. Like, this is an issue in the creator economy that's old as time. And I hate that for us because, I mean, I can go on and on about all the reasons, but I think you know why. It's just like, it's the most fucked up thing. And we have to have change. Like, there has to be better than this because it's just diminishing our entire industry. And the people who are the hardest working, the lowest people on the totem pole, like, they're the ones taking the biggest hits. And so many big companies will preach like, we're all about creator first. We're all about the creator. Yet I know, and many of you know, that behind the scenes, it's all talk. It is all talk. And they will notoriously pay late. They'll, like, rush for nothing, right? Like, this is due tomorrow. And then you sit around for like 2 months or something on approvals. Like, there's so much hypocrisy, and there's so much like just maltreatment of people still. Nothing's changed that significantly. And so while I'm certainly not justifying what Captivate is allegedly doing, I'm also saying that unfortunately, they're not the first and they won't be the last. And I think that, like, I don't necessarily have answers. I just think that we have to hold ourselves to a higher standard at the very least, and run our businesses smoothly so that you're not hiring people for jobs that you don't have the money to pay them. If you have a cash flow problem, you need to address that before it gets so far ahead of you. And morally speaking, like, you should really practice what you preach. You should really, if you're saying that, it's creator first and, you're an ethical company and most people should be, right? Then you really have to put actions behind those words. Otherwise, stuff like this is going to come out. People talk in the creator economy like no other. Quick question for you guys. How much do you love redlining agreements? Yeah, me too. Let me tell you about our latest sponsor called Caveat. So Caveat with a K is an AI-powered contracting platform that simplifies and automates your contracts. It'll hugely improve the way that you review partnership agreements. So if you're a media company or an entertainment company or a management firm, it's a must-have tool. Look, sometimes you do need to hire a lawyer, an expensive lawyer nonetheless, to work on an agreement because it's over a certain threshold, and a good lawyer can be invaluable. But what about all those other partnerships, those other contracts that are for $5,000 or even like $1,000? That's where Caveat comes in to support you and your team through AI to process your contracts to gain a competitive edge through data-driven insights and automatic AI-driven red lines. It's game-changing tech, and it's founded by 3 brilliant women. So you know why I'm out here supporting it. Get time back in your day because Caveat will help you with the part of your business that may be your least favorite. So head to our website. It's iamwiim.com/caveat for a completely free trial. That's iamwiim.com/KAVEAT. I hope you guys love it as much as I do. But I will say it was pretty surprising to me that I kind of feel like I was the first person to like blow a whistle here and make a kind of a big statement about it, which is pretty surprising because of how long people have been saying that they've been experiencing these problems. So I think maybe that's my like parting message for you guys. You don't want to raise a flag if something is a week late, 2 weeks late. You should message about it. You should ask for an update, but I wouldn't post anything on social media about it. I wouldn't like accuse anybody of anything huge. If they're, I would say even like under a month late, but like after a month and certainly after 6 months and certainly after a year late, oh my God, what? Like, I think people are just nervous. Like, why wouldn't you have said something publicly and made a stink? I think too many people I understand, but they're trying to handle things behind closed doors by sending a letter, a demand letter from a lawyer, and, not really sharing enough about this in communities like WIIM or on social or what have you. But I will tell you, multiple people messaged me and was like, we just signed an agreement with them last week, or someone I know is in talks with them to work on something, that they want to sign like in a couple of weeks from now or ASAP basically. And they're like, I don't feel comfortable working with them anymore. So thank you for sharing that, because you should at very least be armed with the information, and then you make a conscious decision of whether or not you're comfortable giving it a shot, or you'd rather not, and you'd rather spend your time in another way. But if we all sort of keep things hush and we don't speak up about issues that we're having, then just more people are going to be susceptible to falling into these patterns of problems. So that's my parting words, you guys. Like, don't be afraid to speak up. Share when you're having an issue. You don't need to be an alarmist. You're not going to be an alarmist, and you're not going to be like, let's cancel this company. Like, please don't do those things. But if you're rightfully owed something, speak up for yourself. And those who have nothing to hide nothing. And I have always lived by that. I'm someone who went through some crazy shit in business years ago, and I really needed people to advocate for me, and nobody did. And everybody stayed quiet. And I won't do that anymore. I won't do that for myself. And I certainly won't do it for other people that I care about. So again, all alleged, but I'm waiting to hear from them. And if I get any updates, hopefully I'll get one soon. I'll certainly share it on our podcast. I'll share it on social, because I hope that there's good news to share. And I hope that they can fix this problem, because a lot of people have been affected by this. So thank you for listening. I hope this helps someone who's tuning in. Definitely, hit the subscribe button on YouTube, subscribe on Spotify and iTunes, and I will be with you next week like I am every week. We release episodes on Tuesday, and hopefully I'll have a good update for you next time. All right, guys. Later. If you enjoyed this episode, we gotta have you back. Check out our website for more ways to get involved, including all the information you need about joining our collective. You can check out all the information at IamWIIM.com. Leave us a review, a rating, but the most important thing that we could ask you to do is to share this podcast.
Thanks for listening.
Tune in next week.
Tune in next week.